Hi everybody, welcome to another Friday Frenzy. This is the card we're making today, and it was inspired by a card that I saw made by Brenda Quintana. So I'd like to thank Brenda for the inspiration. As you can see, it's a gatefold card with a centered image on the front, and I really like this one. The only reason that one is actually framed is because I did a boo-boo, couldn't stamp it straight to save my life, and even looking at it now it doesn't look straight. But anyway, let's start. All of the measurements and everything can be found on my blog. So we have a couple of matte pieces in Watercolour Wonder. They measure 12 centimetres by 9 centimetres. Sorry, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, I did all of the measurements on this card in centimetres. So I'm not quite sure. Normally I work in inches. Okay, the two Whisper White layers, of course, measure 11.5 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres. And as you can see, I've already die cut the flower out of this one, and as you can see, I've already die cut the two flowers out of that, and I've got the third one that I want to show you how to line up. So I've also got a couple of pieces of scrap Watermelon Wonder and Whisper White. I have my die cut to go. I've already die cut a couple of the blooms that I'll be using in this, as you can see, as well as the leaves. Now the leaves were actually stamped in mint macaron and on mint macaron, so it's a like tone on tone effect, and I've die cut some of the little dies out of the set, and the set we're using today is the Special Reason stamp set, and I forget the name of the die set that goes with it. It's in our special occasions catalogue at the moment, so you can still buy it until the end of the month, until the end of May, sorry. Okay, this one's called Stylish Stems Framelets, and as you can see, I put in a magnetic now I'm pushing the thing out. I put in a magnetic sheet inside so I can keep all of the framelets with the stamps, so I keep the packaging in there so I know exactly how many dies I need to have inside there as well. And I don't actually put the images on the back of the stamps. I actually put them on the back of the box so that I know exactly where they go, and I can also tell which one's missing if I do have one missing, which, as you can see, I've got two there which I've already mounted. Okay, now a lot of this card has already been sorted out, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is bring in my magnetic plate, my magnetic platform with my die cutting plates. I've just swapped this one over because it's so badly bowed. I wanted to try and flatten it out. Now what you do, I'm hoping you can see this, I'm lining up the outer side of this die cut so that I've got maybe a millimetre or two all the way around the outside, and then I just pop that on. And because this is really bowed, I'm hoping it's going to stay. It did stay in place, and as you can see, it cuts out beautifully around the outside. So we'll get rid of the scrap, and I'll just put my die back in there so that I know where it is. And we're going to start putting this one together. As I said, all the measurements can be found on my blog. I have a 10.5 centimetre piece of wide paper, and all I did was put in the A4 sheet and just cut it in half exactly, so it's at 10.5 the whole way down. Now the scoring for this is at 8 centimetres from one end, and then you flip the cardstock round and you do 7 centimetres from the other end, so that's 15 centimetres. So the centrepiece will be just short of 15 centimetres. It's about 14.8, 14.7, 14.8 centimetres there, and that will give you the gatefold. So I'll just pop that aside, bring in my bone folder and give this a nice crease. And even though they're new blades, they still seem to give a bit of an edge to the paper that I didn't want. Okay, I just went in search of my adhesive eraser. I'm not sure why Stampin' Up is getting rid of these, but if you don't have one, get one while they're still on the availability. I'm not sure what their availability is at the moment. I still can't get that piece off. Well, we'll just ignore that it's there and we'll go ahead with everything. So what you want to do is have the 7 centimetre piece on your left hand side for this. And we're going to bring in the piece that I've already die cut the flower from. And I've brought in a piece, I know it's not Watermelon Wonder, it's Flirty Flamingo, but it matches beautifully with this card. So I'll just bring in a little bit of fast fuse on either side there and just fix it about 1 centimetre from the edge. I must have a little bit of ink on one of my fingers that's transferring, because I just saw some on the back of this card. Okay, so that's where that's going to go. And then before we do anything else, this is the Stamp-A-Majig. If you don't have one, you really need to get one. It's just a piece of heavyweight plastic with a T-bar, and the way that you use these is really easy. If you don't have a MISTI and you want perfect placement of your stamps, do yourself a favour and grab one of these. My husband said the other day I'm starting to sound like Molly Meldrum with this do yourself a favour thing. Don't know if any Aussies watching who used to watch Countdown will remember Molly Meldrum saying, do yourself a favour, get this album now. Okay, so what you do is just line up the 2 stamps in that corner there. So that's one of them done. And then I'm just going to flip the other one round. And it might look a bit strange at the moment, but you'll see the reasoning for this in a minute. So I know now that I've got the stamps exactly where, I know exactly where they are on the stamp. So what I'm going to do, where did my 2 little scraps go? There they are. So I need the white scrap. Flip that over. Once again, as I said, I must have some ink, or had some ink on my finger when I was preparing these, because I seem to be getting ink everywhere. Now the saying for this side is there's no special reason for this card. So what I'm going to do is move all of these out the way so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm lining up, there's no special reason for this card, as straight as I can on, and I need it towards the end there. So that looks fairly straight to me. I'll bring in the T-bar again. Oops. And I'm going to hold the T-bar in place. Does that look straight? I'm hoping I'm not getting my head too far into the camera. That looks more straight. So there we go. Pop that over there, ink it up and slide it straight down. There we go. Beautiful. And while I've got the ink out, I'm going to bring in my layering piece for inside, and I'm going to pop this one in the middle there, and I think that's straight. So pop the T-bar in, move that aside, flip it round to the one that I need, and then straight down, straight up. Is that straight? Oh, I did it well. Okay, so that's the inking done, so I'll pop that aside. Okay, now what we can do is layer this piece on with just a 1/4 centimetre border all the way around, or an 1/8 of an inch. There we go, I can work in both. And I'm going to bring in my card itself and just pop these on. And once again, this one's got a slightly wider border to either side, but there we go, that's beautifully in the centre there. Okay, so we'll bring in our layering piece again. Now you'll also need, if you have it, a wink of Stella pen, and all I'm going to do is brush wink of Stella all over that area, approximately where the flower is going to be, so that it gives a little bit of a glitter effect. We'll bring in our dimensionals. I thought I had some out, but obviously not. These are really good value, 300 dimensionals for just a couple of dollars, and they go on forever and a day. Okay, now some of these ones that I've popped in the middle, I won't actually take the backing paper off, it's just there for support. They stick to everything. Okay, so make sure I've got that round the right way so that I've got the glitter behind the flower, and we'll just mount this. And once again, it's about an 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 of a centimetre the whole way round. Stick to everything. I don't know about anybody else, I end up with them all over my house. Okay, bring in my scissors, and I'm just going to trim off and then just slightly flag the end. There we go. And what I might, no, I'll just leave it like that. I need to pop it on here, and what I'm going to do is pop it, just hold it in place there, like so, and then I'm going to trim around. I've got the shakes at the moment, it's not the camera, it's me. There we go, and then straight down there, like so, and get rid of those pieces. And then I'm just going to bring that up like that. So as you can see, it's creating a slight shadow. Bit of fast fuse on the back. You can use fast fuse, you can use fast fuse or snail, doesn't really matter. And then just another couple of dimensionals, and I'm just going to put the dimensionals on either side of the ribbon. And line that up with the edge of the card. So there we go. Now we'll bring in 2 of our leaves and just pop them down the bottom here, and then just, oh, that really didn't want to work, and I've just realised why. I didn't use fast fuse or snail on the flower. What I did was popped just a little bit of the mono adhesive and then just popped that there, and that will be left to dry. I will that on there for now. And then we start on the inside of the card. And I don't know whether you notice, but that's the inside. So I'll just pop that over there so I know what I'm following. Once again, in with the mono adhesive. And just dot it on some of the larger areas behind your flower, just to give it a little bit of stick. Here we go, that's one. And then we just pop that there. Hold it down for a moment to allow it to stick, like so. And then we'll bring in the other two leaves that I have sitting there. And once again, a little bit of fast fuse. Nope. And just pop them on either side like so. It doesn't matter if it peeks over the edge, because that's going to be hidden behind this flap anyway. So that's that side done, and we're just going to add a jewel in the middle in a moment. And then we bring in, this is the really skinny piece out of the leaves in the die set, and I just snipped that in half and then actually held it very gently and smeared a bit of the glue on the back like that. Ooh. And that's one. Probably not the best idea to hold it over the top of your project, but never mind. Okay, so there's the second one. Okay, I went over my recording time. Okay, so then we bring in a bit of glue and just around the centre of the flower and pop that there. And then the same with this one, just around the centre of the flower and pop that there. And then, as you can see, we have 4 tiny little leaves. So we'll flip all of those over so that we can put a bit of glue on the back. If you can hear music in the background, my daughter's home because it's the last day of school holidays. So she's playing karaoke down in the lounge room with YouTube and the TV. So if you can hear any singing, that will be her. And she'll probably be mortified later that people could hear her singing. Okay, so one leaf. 2. This one, there's always one, isn't there, that doesn't want to be picked up. There we go. So there's the inside, and now all we need to do is put some bling on the inside. So I'm just going to use the little ones for inside the smaller blooms. Like so, and then a larger one for the big one. Pop that aside for a moment and we'll come back to the outside of the card. And all I did, just for a bit of bling on the outside, was pop 3 uneven gems. And by uneven I mean 2 of the medium size and 1 of the small. And now all we need to do is bring back our card and some dimensionals again. And all I'm going to do is pop, whoops, dimensional here, dimensional here, Another one there. Another one there. And just one in the middle for support. So we'll take the backing off. The outer four. Like so. Bring the card in and then just line it up. Remember to try and get it even top and bottom, and then side to side will be a little bit wider. But there we go. Just pop everything away. So this is the card that I showed you originally, and this is the one that I've just made. Let me know which one you prefer, whether you prefer that one or that one. I think this one gives you a bit more room to write your message, but you might like the added decoration on the inside there. Okay, and that can close like that. And there we go. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's Friday Frenzy, and you will join me again soon. Bye-bye.